Well, howdy there, Internet people. It's Bo again. So, today we are going to talk about a few different news items, I guess three really, and they all relate to Ukraine. Different aspects of it, but they all tie in there, and they all also kind of tie into the general tone of readiness overall and how that's being achieved, and force generation and all that stuff. Okay, so we will start with the F-16. There has been a lot of roadblocks along the way when it comes to Ukrainian pilots being trained to fly the F-16. They're apparently all gone. Next week in Arizona, that starts. It will take some time, but the process is underway. Okay. The next piece has to do with artillery. I think it was last month. For the first time, Ukraine used more artillery rounds than Russia for the first time in the conflict. Now, we talked, I think over on the other channel, we talked briefly about how Russia was shifting its doctrine to try to be more accurate and use less rounds. That might have something to do with it. It also probably has a whole lot to do with the fact that they don't have much. Granted, they just got a shipment of some kind from North Korea. We don't know the quantity, we don't know the quality, but we know some stuff arrived. It's an interesting shift. Generally speaking, Russia is artillery intensive. So them not using them to the same degree, you can read into that a little bit with, it's probably a clear indication that they are trying to be sparing with what they have. Now for the really interesting news. And I know there are some people who showed up here just to tell me I have a typo in the title. I don't. BTR-90s. They're a thing. They exist. So for normal people, those giant armored vehicles that look like tanks that have wheels, those are BTRs. Generally speaking, the BTR-90 isn't something that anybody has seen. In fact, the first time it was ever in action was, I want to say, on the 13th, maybe the 11th, in the last few days. It was never really produced in any large quantities. Basically, it is a larger version of the BTR-80 with a BMP-2 turret duct tape to it. It's not really duct tape, but they have a BMP-2 turret on top of it. So it's an infantry fighting vehicle. Russia is apparently so in need of IFVs after losing as many as they have that they have pulled these out. Now, the BTR-90, by the specs, not actually a bad vehicle. That's not the interesting part. The interesting part is where they got it. The 38th Research Institute. It is a relatively safe assumption that these are the original ones, developed in 93-ish. Russia is in such dire straits when it comes to infantry fighting vehicles, they have pulled some experimental ones out of storage, the test vehicles, and pressed them into service and sent them on over. That is a really bad sign for their force generation capabilities. It's also a pretty safe assumption that the individuals that will be using the BTR-90 or 90s, we've only seen one so far, maybe they sent the rest of them, it's a pretty safe assumption that they're not well trained on them since they just came out of storage and were never really used in large numbers. That's not a good sign for the people who are going to be operating them. I am not sure about the interchangeability. I know the interior layout is roughly the same as the other BTRs, but I'm not sure about the interchangeability of parts. I'm sure that there will be some things that are different, and I assure you that Murphy is a real thing on a battlefield. Whatever part is different, that's what's going to break. I don't feel like these are going to be in service too long. This is definitely a stopgap of some kind. They can't keep up with the production that they need. So those are the three pieces of news that we'll probably see this information again. It'll be useful context for later. Anyway, it's just a thought. Y'all have a good day.